Okay, and welcome back. Yoshi Shimatsu joins us this hour. Yoshi, of course, is with us every Monday along with Dana Durnford, but it's been so hell on wheels lately that we've postponed our Fukushima reports, and actually we've been drifting into more and more of the bigger picture, the political, international geopolitics of this whole thing, and they're crucial. They're really important, and they are intrinsically tied to Fukushima, radiation, our early demise, and many other things that we've been talking about for well over 5. God, you know, Yoshi, it's going to be 6 years.
It's coming up, yeah. It's hard to believe that we've survived this long, particularly myself, you know. And one of the reasons I've been in New Zealand, I went down to New Zealand to try to find the opposite of Japan, you know, place a little bit where I could eat fish, things like that, things I used to do 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And which I can't do anymore. You know, look around at the seaweed and things, you know, sort of a longing for my homeland, which is basically devastated beyond repair in my lifetime and probably in many lifetimes.
No doubt.
New Zealand was a refreshing break, but as soon as I landed, I was interrogated by customs. There's a thing called Line 4. I was put into Line 4. There was a Russian lady there and some dodgy Chinese businessman, and then they said, wow, we have a whole lot on you. So, you know, I thank them. I really appreciate the fact that you're a follower.
We have a whole lot on you?
Yeah.
That's what they said.
And then, you know, and said, there's a whole lot of stuff on you. And I said, yeah, well, I write a lot for Rents and other shows on. So. And, you know, another place, Japan Times, and, you know, I have a whole background of writing. Well, you know, delving into controversies. So this is in New Zealand, right?
Jeez.
We're a sheep country. Yeah. But then it turns out I had no idea what's going on. Absolutely. I said, I'm just shaking my head, man. You know, what possibly do they think I'm an anthrax terrorist or something? I mean, what possibly could I have done to offend this, you know, nice, peaceful...
You're one of the world's great environmental writers, a true journalist,
all that.
And what the hell is wrong with them? You know, I understand that the Zionists, they control.
Then I'm in Auckland, and you know, I'm in Auckland. You know, my hobby is to take photos of used bookstores and stop by, you know, because I used to do that when I was in college, both at, you know, undergrad and then later at journalism school in Berkeley. I used to trade books, you know, because you come across all people throwing out books at yard sales, and then you can trade them at bookstores from some pretty good old volumes that would be otherwise neglected or, you know, sent to some incinerator somewhere. So that's a hobby of mine. So in Auckland, I'm at this bookstore, and then I see this poster, you know, protest against the USS Sampson, the first visit of an armed U.S. naval vessel in the last 32 years. And I said, here I am gobsmacked. No wonder they're harassing me. They must have thought I came here to organize a protest.
How funny.
Yeah, I guess,
how weird.
They had New Zealand had a non-nuclear policy that started in the 80s, okay?
Yeah.
They won't let in nuclear vessels, nuclear weapons, and that's when that Greenpeace vessel, Rainbow Warrior, was blown up for protesting the Muraro, the French atomic blast there in the Pacific, you know, gorgeous Pacific Atoll was blown apart. So that it all came out of that era, which I reported actually in the Japan Times. You know, we had a report. One of my cameraman was down there in Tahiti, you know, to go after the Muraro thing. So I'm very intimately. I said, oh my gosh, you know, the timing is perfect. In fact, the protest will be later this week. You know, so I said, gosh, you know. It really looks like, you know, that's what I'm doing here. You know, it's coming down here with a bullhorn to raise hell about nuclear. And it would make total, you know, I came here to eat some lamb and some fish, you know, drink some beer without fear, drink some wine, you know, basically live without fear for a while. Okay.
At least they didn't waterboard you.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they were tempted. If I'd come in you know, this week, they probably would have it. And I'm just glad they didn't blame me for setting off that second earthquake in Christchurch, because I was through there too, you know. But anyway, the odd thing about New Zealand, very quickly, is I thought it was perfectly safe. The furthest south you can get, away from even Australia, which produces uranium, a lot of rainfall, close to the Antarctic Sea, the Antarctic and the Southern Ocean. So, and then lo and behold, I'm at New Plymouth, which is on the west coast facing Australia. I said, maybe it's a little dangerous here. I should be a little cautious. I'm walking along the shore. So I take a measurement, 0.0, really low. Okay, I said, no problem. There's offshore oil wells, nothing to worry about in this country. But then at Christchurch, I decided to take a bus out to Sumner, which is the beach area. That's a place where you see the gigantic landslides in the pictures coming out of Canterbury, because they built houses on these cliffs and they fell down, 50 yards down. An amazing sight. But I was taking pictures, and then I said, and it's all sand out there, no rock. In sandstone, in the volcano, you don't see much rock. There's no uranium in there. And I get double the reading. This is on the East Coast facing the Pacific. And I said, what the heck? And for a kilometer, I'm taking reading. And it confirms every time. It's consistent 0.08. Not dangerous yet. Let's say 2/3 of the way up to the old safety level in Japan. So, but high for New Zealand. Then, I had to go see the Antarctic Sea. I've written articles for you that you posted on the Arctic issue, the crack up of the ice cap and the problem with the polar bears. And it's all related to Dana Durnford's work, right? I mean, this is the Arctic, sort of the Arctic and what we call the subarctic region, okay? This is all part of this Fukushima contamination area. So I said, I've never seen the Antarctic, I've never been close to it before, so this is my great chance. I go to Invercargill, way on the south, Scottish, it was settled by Scottish people. And there's a place called Bluff where the oysters come from, which is the southernmost point on the main, south island. There's two islands, north and south. On the south island, southernmost point. So I'm directly facing the Antarctic Sea, and then whip out my dosimeter, and then we're going up to 0.14. This is above the Japan safety limit, and along the water, it doesn't make any sense. Because the water along Fukushima, the water itself is not that high, but this has got hot water there, And I'm saying, what the heck is going on? True, you can see the rock. It's pitch black, so it's from Gondwanaland, the original continent. I know about this, like my work in the Gobi Desert. That was part of Gondwanaland too. The Indian Peninsula brought that up, smashed into that area. So Gondwanaland rock, and there's some uranic rock there. But it could not account for the high levels in the water. Okay, on the ground, but not in the water. So I wrote this article that appeared in Grants that you ran, and I got a response from a radiation expert in New Zealand. He said, there's a lot of radiation in New Zealand now. There's 3 reactors small research reactors in the country, and there's been leakage. But also, he's measured. He says, he just randomly measured, because it's the biggest importer of Japanese used cars. He says,
I didn't know that.
High radiation levels.
Hot
2
cars.
Toyotas,
Hot cars. Damn.
2 Hondas and 2 Isuzus. High radiation levels. So the used cars are coming from Japan, and they're hot.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then, I said, I rang with. But at the time when I was down there on the Antarctic Sea, looking at the sea, I'm thinking, man, is it Britain? Is it France? Is it the U.S.? Is it, no, Britain's got Canada. The U.S. is a huge country. France also. France has got all these colonies. So they all have places to to sort of hide their nuclear waste. Which country doesn't have that kind of land mass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Which country sends big ships down to the Antarctic? Ships that have, Sea Shepherd have chased, and Sea Shepherd admitted.
Yep.
The fleet disappeared. The Japanese whaling fleet disappeared. We don't know where it is. They've turned off their radios, okay? We don't know where they are.
That's against international convention at sea, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, law of the sea, every international convention in the world. To bring nuclear waste and dump it off
you
south
think that do we have any proof of this? This is not good. Is this
what I'm saying is, look, I'm trying to say, I take these measurements. It's hot on the South Island, on the east side, the southeast side, where it should not be hot.
Got it.
The other part facing Australia, which should be a little warmer, is not. So the baseline is very low. How in the hell does the water get radioactive in New Zealand down there unless someone's dumping? And, our Antarctic Sea is huge, okay? It's 1,000 kilometers across, it's 800 miles across or more, 1,000 miles. It's a vast sea, going in circles. How do you contaminate anything that big? Where would the source of that much plutonium and uranium be?
Right.
Who goes down there to deliver? And you've seen the back of these whaling vessels, right? They're like ramps with forklifts that can pull up, and winches that can pull up whales.
Yep.
Just as easy to use a winch and a forklift to push down a container of plutonium.
God.
So now we know why they go off, why they go radio dead. If they're hunting whales, they have to be in communication with each other, right? The ships have to coordinate. How can they just go dead for 2 weeks and Sea Shepherd can't find them down there? What are they doing? Well, I tell you what they're doing. It's obviously the Japanese are doing the same thing they did to the Japan trench, the Philippine trench, that is contaminating the U.S. They're dumping, high-level containers.
This is disgusting.
Into the Antarctic.
This is
It's going to kill all the penguins. I mean, I hate to say it. I wish the environmental movement, World Wildlife Fund, would get off their butts and investigate. Now all the penguins are doomed, the seals down there, everything. This is mass environmental destruction. And you got to understand the irony for me. Here I come to the other end of the planet to get away from Fukushima, and here it is like slapping me in the head like a whale's tail, like Moby Dick's tail, okay? Slapping me in the head here, okay? Of all places, right? I'm at the end of the earth, at land's end. And here I'm facing this same monster, okay? I can't get away from it, right? In New Zealand, nice, peaceful country.
Unreal.
Sheep farms, dairy farms.
These people who said we have a file on you or a lot of stuff on you, did they have it stacked in front of them, or was it just a verbal thing?
No. It was right online. They were just reading everything. They just, they had all kind. They were asking me a lot of questions. They had all the facts and details.
Could you see the screen? Could you see the screen?
No. But you could see, the guy was nearly smiling that they had a good, so much on me. So they're obviously devoted fans of Rents.com.
Yeah.
And anyway, so as a result, I felt a little bit, less than hospitably invited there, and
I would think.
I decided, well, I've enjoyed the meat pies. I've really enjoyed the scenery. It's a great country. I'd love to live anywhere in that country except, facing the Fukushima radioactivity, which hopefully won't increase, but I'm sure it will as it bubbles up over time.
Wow.
And also I needed to write that article, so I felt, well, it's best, I don't participate in the protest. Let them know this is not my intention to raise hell down there. The U.S. Navy, well, that's their problem, they've got to stop that. It's not, I can't do a hell lot about that.
Well, and what kind of container is not going to rust over time? Oh, they all will.
Well, that's what happened. Well, that's what happened in Somalia. The Italian mafia in the 80s, after Italy voted to go non-nuclear after Chernobyl, they dumped shiploads off Somalia, created a hotspot, washed up in the 2004 tsunami. They found it. Soon as the government of Somalia started to realize what happened, that's when all the guns came in. From London,
shut them
all
up.
The new firearms. Yeah. Somali pirates problem started. The government was displaced, dislodged, and the country was divided, so no word would get out. That's why people haven't heard. There's no outcry.
I'll be damned. I didn't know that.
Done nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, UN's done nothing. Yeah, there's whole ships were sunk there. They criticized the Scandinavian ships.
Let me ask you another question.
Old ones.
All right, here's a question. Yeah. Isn't there some place on this planet that we could dig and create an enormous repository for the world's nuclear waste that would be safe? Relatively speaking. It's better. You don't put it in the ocean. That's for damn sure.
No, Germany's got these salt mines that they're doing it in these huge underground salt mines.
Yeah.
Which are very solid, really solid. So Germany's doing it. They're responsibly taking care of their own. Australia is talking about doing it because they're uranium exporters, so they have to to get rid of their own waste so they can. And they're talking about bringing, basically selling storage space to other countries. So it won't be cheap because it's got to be cool. The WIPP down in New Mexico, obviously that wasn't well done. It's in bedrock down there, but there was an accident, a fire down there. So, and for Japan, the problem is this wastewater. There's no reason. We store water in tunnels in Japan. There's massive tunnels under some of the major rivers.
Really? These are man-made tunnels?
Gigantic ones, yeah. They're the biggest tunnels. You can take 2-3 trains through there. And we store water in case of drought because we did have water shortages.
Were they designed for that purpose?
Yeah. We have water shortage, severe water shortage in the 80s. So whenever there's a massive storm, we filter the water and send it down in these tunnels. So, but the Japanese government hasn't done that because there's been this deliberate policy not to do that. They want to contaminate the United States and Canada, punish the United States for what happened in World War II.
Well, that's obvious.
There's a deliberate criminal mentality behind not putting the water in the tunnels because we have the world's greatest machines. Mitsubishi makes these fantastic ones used all around the world.
What kind of machines are they? I'm sorry, what?
Mitsubishi. They're these gigantic, sort of these round diamond edge blades.
Oh, for the tunnel borers. Okay.
Yeah, they can just easily tunnel through rock, the hardest rock. It's amazing, these machines, how fast they work. But they won't do that because they want to basically destroy the American people. I mean, I don't know how to put it any other way. And that's an issue I think Donald Trump's got to look at. Before I said I think the problem of the relationship with Mexico is a major national security issue, probably the major, because there's, territorial claims, cultural claims. There's a lot of hotheads on the Mexican side.
Right.
And, let's face it, there's a lot of rednecks on the American side. So it's a recipe for disaster, But, immediately, that's sort of a longer-term issue, but the immediate problem Trump's got to face is this undeclared nuclear war by the Shinzo Abe regime against the United States, refusing to store their nuclear waste, their nuclear water, and dumping in the Pacific. It's a deliberate refuse. Basically, they could have done it. They have the means to do that, and they basically sabotaged. They came up with nonsensical, not solutions. What do you call it? Nonsensical delay tactics. Of trying to filter away all of it. They knew all that would fail.
Sure.
They have done nothing, and at this point, we got to say it's deliberate. They've had 5.5 years to do
okay, so
and everything has failed.
Fukushima emissions at this point, you feel are deliberate. Not the actual mechanism, but the fact that they haven't.
They drained the most high-level radioactive tanks have been drained.
They're empty. Sure, yeah. I don't believe there's anything in there.
Tanks. So therefore, and they did it quietly. They even sort of hinted at it after it was done. So they didn't warn the world. They didn't say anything. The IAEA they control. Head of it is Japanese. They're bribing people off there. So there's it has to be. At a certain point, it's no longer because it's like you laugh about we're 6 years on, we're 5.5 years on. There's a certain point when chaos and all, because there's been these quiet interludes. There's been plenty of time now. There's plenty of policy. There's been a lot of planning, and there is absolutely no intention to contain the water. And this is what I think. Remember, like right after the crisis, when we first, I first came on your station, I said we have to contain the radioactivity.
Absolutely, you sure did.
It is wrong to send this out to the rest of the world. We have to contain it. Once we let it out, we can't get it back in. Containment is the only thing we can do. It's the only way to, prevent this disaster from going global. And it's our only way actually to deal with this disaster, to, develop the technologies to extract the nucleotides and so on. So that was clear from the beginning. I'm no scientific genius. I didn't graduate in physics. I was in chemistry. But it's obviously very simple common sense they haven't done. And so I think Trump, Shinzo Abe is barging in on Trump on Thursday. He's doing a New York stopover on his way to Peru.
He's forcing his way into Trump's schedule, isn't he?
He is, yeah, and this is outrageous because Trump doesn't have a cabinet yet.
No.
You know, Trump's main issues now is listening to his supporters, American people.
Well, Abe's doing it so he can go home and say, I was the first head of state to meet with the president-elect of the United States. Abe's doing it as an ego trip.
It's an ego trip, but he'll tell the Japanese people. Trump nodded when I said you should support the TPP. Trump smiled when I said you had to keep the U.S.-Japan alliance. You know, and then Abe's already said, well, we don't want to be, Trump says, why don't you go develop your own nuclear bomb? Because Trump knows darn well Japan's had a secret nuclear bomb program there in Fukushima. So do it openly where at least we can watch you and monitor this thing. And Abe doesn't want to do that. Of course he doesn't want an open nuclear program because he needs plausible deniability, because I've always argued the nuclear bomb has nothing to do with deterring China or the North Koreans. It's always been aimed at the Americans. So you have to deny the existence of a program so you can have a false flag attack against America. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is no longer a false flag. They are. America is under massive attack. The whole country has been irradiated, basically. You know, every time it rains, is raining from Fukushima. You know, so Trump, I think, needs to put Abe in his place and just tell him, no, I'm busy putting together my cabinet. I understand your positions. I don't agree with them, so there's no point us discussing it, you know? And I'll put you on my schedule when I've got time and when I'm president. I mean, that's what Trump should be saying.
I agree. You wrote up a nice piece, and we put it up at Rents, and we also had it put on Trump's Facebook page, so they'll see it.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Because you know, I mean, Pence may go out to the airport and meet him and say, we're sorry, we're busy, thank you. For your concern, goodbye. You know, I mean, that's it. But very, very clearly, Shinzo Abe is in the other side of the tennis net there, and the other side of the ball court. Supports TPP, wants to keep exporting Toyotas to America, wants to keep crushing GM and Ford, and Ford is all being stanched there. I mean, they're not selling cars in Japan or Asia because, the Japanese have basically can control the market through financing and every other thing, trade rules, all that. So the American, industry is being crushed in Japan. They're being invaded by the Japanese who have free reign. Toyota's been given like the keys to the town, right? The golden keys to every town in America. So there's unfair trade. Okay, and then
it's not good. We have to take a break, Yoshi, but there really is no common ground between these two men at all, and
none.
I
Policy differences.
It's really silly. Hold on a second, we'll come right back.
Yeah.
All right, we're back with Yoshi, and let me tell you, I don't know anyone listening out there at any time during the campaign did I hear Fukushima or radiation mentioned. I don't think anyone mentioned it. No accident. No coincidence. I don't think they touched it. They want nothing to do with it. Nothing. Don't ask, don't tell. Don't worry, be happy.
Well, I'm not too depressed about it because at least Trump came out against this climate theory and realizes that right now, the use of carbon-based fuels is not the worst thing in the world right now for the planet. That
absolutely
we have other
not.
problems,
No.
So he's obviously clued there, and that policy can help spring this whole nuclear issue. And I think we should be agitating for the next head of the Department of Energy instead of this guy Stephen Chu or Ernest Moniz. Follow the money Moniz to. There's a nuclear physicist, working with DOE. We need someone from outside. So I think we should try to get a nomination for Arnie Gunderson. Arnie Gunderson should be the head of the Department of Energy. He's taking a principled stand. He knows his stuff. He knows people in the industry. Over at the Japan embassy, put in someone like Richard Wilcox, environmentalist, has been steadily nuclear foe.
I'd rather see
the issues there in Japan. So
I'd rather
that's the team we need.
I'd rather see Yoichi Shimatsu.
Well, I should be an outside critic, I suppose, because but anyway, whatever. Okay? I mean, there have to be people at the nuclear desk in state, the proliferation desk, who understand why we have to go non-nuclear.
Right.
There needs to be a change of policy, and we should be pushing for that because, we sure as hell have done a lot of the homework for the Trump people, when they were in a tight spot with this Khazir Khan and all that, So we've sort of hauled their wood and, fetched their pails of water.
You got it.
I think they do owe something for the people who've, held out against this climate, bogus aspect. I've always said I'm not entirely against climate theory. I do think there's too much carbon, but it's not like a super pressing issue as they present as the one horse issue. No,
it's not a crisis.
The environment is a very complicated issue. Lots of threats out there, and we've got to take each as they are. Each one as they are, and not try to create an ideology. It's a very practical business.
Yoshi, the methane hydrate issue may be more important than carbon. That's a big deal, and it's coming up in the Arctic now, and it's coming up.
Bubbling out the ground. And a lot of various organisms that we haven't seen might have killed past species. So we don't know what's coming out of the ground now that nuclear has destroyed the Arctic region, opened the ozone hole. But the main thing is we got to contain the nuclear bandits out of Japan, the Fukushima gang and Abe. They've got to go. They got to be put out. And Trump's just got to give them a schedule. Let's say, we're giving you 2.5 years to address this, okay? And this is what we want to see every month. And just lay it out to them and say, you're going to do this. We don't care about money because you can just cut your foreign aid and whatever else. You can cut the size of your government. The Bank of Japan's been throwing money away. Just tell them to pump up the money, okay? You're going to do this. I don't think it's asking. This is no longer, when someone's got a gun to your head, just shot your daughter, okay? Do you ask them, please? No, you take the gun away and you knock them to the ground and said, you're going to walk over there to the jail, or I'm going to shoot you right here. This got to be like, we can't, there's no more gentlemanliness in this. America is being destroyed. Okay, American people, their children are being destroyed.
This audience may understand that. This audience may understand that, but 99% of Americans have no idea, Yoshi, none.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if Abe is...
He's talking about the wall, okay? The wall along the Mexican border. Well, there's no way you're going to put up a wall across the Pacific, okay? So you've got to get Japan to stop this.
I wonder if Abe is...
You're going to stop this on your territory. You're going to start doing it now, this hour, and this is how you're going to do it, and we're giving you a timetable, and if you fail, we got a lot of American troops.
What a great leadership
around Japan.
achievement that would be.
So the next government will come in. If we have to shepherd in another government who will do it, we will. It's got to be like that. This is survival. American survival at stake. 6 years is way too long. This has been an atrocity. And the cancer cases, population climate.
Well, now we have cancer cells floating around in the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic, by the way, that are actually infectious. This is unheard of. It's unprecedented. No one's talking about it. It's relatively. It's combined to the bivalve community, the mollusks, clams, but it doesn't matter because it's floating in the water. Now, who's to tell me that it's not contagious to human beings? Who's done the research? Nobody.
Exactly. There's no research. Absolutely not. If it's a cell, it should be able to attack, especially if you're a surfer or something like that, or a sailor.
Absolutely.
The water.
Of course.
You're just sucking it in. It's in your lungs. It's perfect breeding ground for viruses, bacteria, whatever. So why shouldn't a cancerous cell implant there? So, we're talking about this is the worst threat to the United States. And if it's not contained like in the Trump administration, there will be no United States. Just hand over the keys to Mexico. Let them take over. Okay? I hate to put it that way. Maybe we shouldn't have a wall. Maybe, we need all the Mexicans just to take over all of North America because they can keep pumping people out of the South. No joke, out of South America.
No, you're just talking demographics. I got it.
Give them everything because you've just lost the country because all your people are dead. Okay? they're dying or dead or dying. And it's going to be Mexicans are going to be wheelchairing them around and giving them the last rites. Yeah. So unless we deal with Fukushima, everything else is lost. It's basically a joke. The whole country, the population.
And what is the Abe regime doing about Fukushima right now? What new, bold scientific initiatives are they pushing?
Pump it out. They're just draining the tanks. I mean, there's just a huge rainstorm 2 days ago. Another rainstorm, more being pushed out. He's doing nothing scientifically. Just, he's doing the same science he did, right? He sends these whaling ships down to the Antarctic to do scientific studies. What science have they ever used on the humpbacks that are keeling off the California coast? Right. Not one bit, not one grant, not one scientist coming over. There's no science. This is a massacre. You don't need science for a massacre. So I hope Trump begins to wake up and see the immediacy of this threat and that the clock is ticking down, that they don't have time.
He's got to have a science advisor. He has to have talked about this. He has to have. But they don't want to go public with it. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, the energy industry's got to make its choices. If he gives them a bailout on oil and gas, they've got to give something in back, and that's going to be nuclear. We got to end the nuclear regime. It's a useless form of power. Everyone knows how inefficient, expensive, what a waste it is. It has never been profitable for anybody anywhere. Yeah. Is there any way that we could actually decommission these plants down, which, by the way, you have to maintain them at a great expense forever? Yeah. Is there any way we could shut them all down and truly make the world a better place? Yes.
Well, most of that uranium came from Canada, so Canada's going to have to open up some territory for a repository. That's why, why do we always have to look at the United States?
There you go.
Look at the guy who sold you the uranium. Very happily take the money, right? You tell him, take it back now. I mean, make America great again. America can push its weight around. Said, you sold us as bad goods, you take it back. And they said, well, where's the contract? We said, there is no contract. The contract begins with the first shipment that goes out. This is how Americans got to learn to talk again, We're not taking nonsense. We're going to save the American
Well, that's
people.
what Trump said. He said Americans have to learn to be winners again. Winners.
Exactly. You can't just get pushed around by every wimpy bureaucrat in the world, in Europe, the British Empire, or wherever, the Japan, China. You can't just be pushed around. You got to stand up and survive. And as I said, by the end of the Trump 4 years or 8 years, there may not be an American people left to defend anymore. I mean, this
sounds almost like science fiction. But if people have been listening to us for any of these years we've been doing this, they'll know that this is not a joke. That the North Pacific is dead. Nothing can be eaten out of the North Pacific. Do you know how much food that has been taken out of the general foodstuffs and food supplies? Yeah. Huge. Almost incalculably huge. It's over.
Yeah, it's over. I mean, 7 days ago, I was down, or 8 days ago, I was down in the Antarctic Sea, on the Southern Ocean. And it's radioactive down there. I mean, forget it. I mean, there is no hope anymore. If New Zealand is not a hope, where to, folks? Yeah, where to, folks? All the other planets are radioactive.
Run. Nowhere to hide.
I mean, there's nowhere to hide. We got to face this monster now, and it's just wimpy little Japan. You got to say, big America, the tough guys, the U.S. Marine Corps, just say, do it. You're not going to kill us. This sort of, what do you call that, sociopathic, passive aggression. We will not take your passive aggression anymore. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we're tough guys. We're going to, we did it before. We beat you before. We can do it again easily. Now, you quit trying to stab us, well, not even in the back. What's amazing, Obama just accepted this because we know what Obama thinks to the majority of American people. They're a bunch to get rid of. Hillary Clinton said it already, right?
You got it.
She's already, these are people she wants to wipe off the blackboard, okay? And Fukushima was one of the instruments for doing that. They love Japan, those guys, for doing this, for wiping out the American population. Yeah? So, these are brutal truths. these are just
they're
brutal,
terrible truths,
honesty.
and we're not seeing.
Look it in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. We tell Mitsubishi and IHI, just say, get those tumblers out there. You're going to store this stuff. And if you have to evacuate most of Japan, tough crap. That was your decision, not ours.
Well, tell me what the latest is on.
I wanted you to get nuclear, but you did it on your own volition.
Of course they
did. We
did.
offered it to a lot of other countries who said
That's
no.
right.
You took it so eagerly, right?
That's right. What is going on with Tokyo, as far as you know? They're still finding hot spots all over the place, and they're just not talking about it, right?
That's what this business of moving the rowing venue. I've said this on your show, and I sent stuff, and I made some video about it, which will come out this summer. Basically, the rowing venue is in sort of this channel in the middle of this huge island, but the island was made from ash from Fukushima. All the plastic and wood from Fukushima was burned at this incinerator plant right there, and outside the plant they built this huge island. Now, right down the middle of that island is a rowing venue. It is like a microwave oven for the athletes there. Equestrian is supposed to be, horse is supposed to be there. Mountain biking is supposed to be there. So the governor of Tokyo says, we've got to move it. She just says, it's expensive. Well, it's not expensive because the thing's already been built. It's not that expensive. But she won't dare come out and say, because the place is hot as a microwave oven. People will be dying. Rowers will be dying out there.
Wow.
And
well, they want to take the bait. You know what they want to do?
It's a V-shaped thing, so it's the worst possible shape you
of course.
can have in stagnant water.
Vector right to the bottom. Did you know they want to put? There's talk. I think it was Abe. They want to put the baseball venue inside the former Fukushima exclusion zone. Yeah,
there's a big sports center. There's several of them. There's a big training camp where the workers use.
Yes,
absolutely. They're insane. I mean, in other words, I hate to use the G word. Man is a genocidal maniac, and he knows baseball. How many countries play baseball?
Oh,
United States.
Yeah.
Right. Taiwan, Canada.
Half a dozen.
A little bit in Australia, not much. There's not a lot of countries that play baseball.
No.
What better thing than to microwave the American national sports? Kill the best players in America. This is a huge achievement, Yeah. This is a huge achievement. I don't think any world leader in history is as devious and diabolical.
See, what people don't understand, Yoshi,
I've been warning people all along. I've been warning people that I've known him from the subway gas thing. He was involved. He's involved in weapons. I told everybody. I've been fighting with this guy more than 25 years. He's one of the criminals we should have put away. But there were so many other bigger guys than him that, bigger fish that we had to put away, and they were fighting back tooth and nail, my boss was murdered there in Tokyo. So he was a fish that got away, and he's grown up to be quite a big whale himself,
Wow.
So he's vicious. These are genocide. These are people with genocide in their mind.
Do people understand that there are a lot of Japanese who still harbor hatred toward the U.S.? Do Americans understand that? Yeah, but Americans don't get it. They don't get it.
We don't use the word fascist lightly in Japan. When Japanese people said this guy's a fascist, we mean it. I mean, he's over the top crazy militarist, wants to kill every American and Chinese and Filipino in sight.
Right.
I mean, these are maniacs. They are the Night of the Living Dead zombie maniacs. And they're proud of it. They're proud of it. They're not ashamed of it. They're darn proud of it. That's why Abe is so bold. He's going to come up and challenge Trump, and then he's going to pull the plunger. You understand? He's going to go up and say, well, I warned Trump. See, at first he'll say, well, Trump sort of nodded, but later he'll say, I warned Trump, and Trump didn't listen to me, and America is a bunch of sick, few handful of survivors. There's nothing left.
There's so much radioactivity piling up on the west coast of the U.S., and it has been for 5.5 years almost. I can't even imagine the concentrations. It used to be in cells and areas, but now it's got to be everywhere. Just got to be.
Oh, absolutely. Dogs and cats are dying like flies.
Where are you reading that?
No doubt about it. People. All over. I have friends there. All their pets are dead. All the pets have died. And pets are dying off like crazy. You know,
I didn't. Now, see why I didn't hear this. If you run across a news story,
there's no more rabbits left on the golf courses, so the coyotes are attacking dogs. All the rabbits are dead.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Even the crows are diminishing. You know, they're tough survivors. They're diminishing.
If anyone listening
I dread going back to
stories,
California. I just dread going back there. It's like a killing field, you know. And people are in denial. You know, they know what's going on, but they're in denial.
Oh,
you know, California.
Yeah, of course. Oh, they want to secede now. You see that? Because of Trump, they want to secede along with Oregon. Huh. Where are they going to go?
They're
going to go west, young man, right?
The Clinton brainwashing campaign, yeah. It's amazing what she did. Yeah?
It is.
It's one of the biggest mind control exercises you'll ever see. She had a bunch of experts in there with her, you know, from all those weird programs.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are brainwashed. I mean, they're completely mind controlled. You know, they don't know what they're doing. They've lost all reason. They're running around amok. They're running amok. It's not a political movement, you know. It's a bunch of zombies running amok. Night of the Living Dead. That's what is puzzling the people in the Trump movement. They can't figure it out. Yeah. Right?
Well, there's no logic. You can't apply logic to it and come away with anything. No.
You can't argue with these people. They're running around like crazy, going, you know, they're just nuts. Yeah, it's a mass hysteria induced by this intensive propaganda.
It's almost like
all went to these meetings and things like that. They've been really put under. Yeah.
A lot of them act like they're suffering incipient dementia. Something's going on.
They even admit that. Yeah. You know, they feel like, you know, I think Lady Gaga and Miley Cyrus said something like this. You know, they feel like they've gone nuts. You know, they can't handle it anymore. You know, their heads are blowing apart. Yeah. So
well, we know what's causing that. See, no, we know what's causing that, and it's just not going to. No one's going to do anything, Yoshi. I'm telling you, it's sad. All we can do is what we're doing and hope that the people listening get it and take steps to protect themselves. And that bio superfood that I have at the top of the homepage up there, look for that banner. That is the only thing on the planet that has been proven to help you deal with radioactive exposure. It's not a joke, and they're wonderful sponsors. I take it every day, have for 6 years almost. Please take it. Please go look at it. Read it. Bio superfood.
We know that from nature, We know that from nature.
It works.
The algae.
Dr. Kiriak was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It's out of your flesh. It's out of your body. You know, your fluid.
Right.
Yeah. That's powerful. The bioaccumulators of radioactivity and take it out of your body. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's known. You know. So,
that's the only thing. Now, today we get a story that I guess the Ukrainians are doing it. I don't know who's doing it, but they built an enormous new cover for the blown reactor at Chernobyl. And they're moving this new cover over the top of the blown reactor. I don't know what they think they're going to do with it, but they're at least trying to do something.
Well, they just have to contain the fallout. You know, it's pretty serious in Europe. You know,
what are they doing in What have they done in Fukushima?
In Japan, they took the cover off of number one because they're trying to take
opened it right over. They opened it up, and they've done nothing. They built an ice wall.
Well, no. The thing is, they got away with dumping their nuclear garbage in the NRC below New Zealand. They care less about New Zealand. You know, they'll just sacrifice New Zealand.
So
Australia
this is what the whaling fleets are making their money by doing now, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say this, you know, because I try to avoid racism at all costs, but they look at New Zealand, Australia, a bunch of white people, you know, on the other side of the war.
Yeah.
On the other side, just send the nucleotides down and kill them all. You know? I mean, this is, you know, it is cruel. It is hard. It's a hard thing to accept that your own people think like this, you know, or some of them do.
Yes.
Yeah, but all the more that, you know, someone like me speaks out against them, you know, because it's impolite for any white person to say such things. And I say such things about all minorities, you know. Quit this carping about Trump, you know. I mean, you had your shot. I'm really kind of disgusted that the Asians in America who are in the political, you know, voting and political, 98% of them went with Clinton. I said, this is
I don't
appalling.
Get that. No, the Asian mind is supposed to be the most intelligent mind per capita on the planet. Well, where's common sense? Where's wisdom?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there's no common sense. They may be smart, but they got no common sense.
No, you know, no wisdom, none.
No, none. So I said, you know, well, first time in my life, I'm a 2%er. Yeah. It's ridiculous, you know? Come on, folks. Wake up. Wake up, folks. Jeez, you know?
What happens, Yoshi, the great tragedy of Japan, I mean, I look at their young people, young men, young women,
they're just beat.
And they're all going to die. And there used to be Asian dating services, and I was thinking, how many Asian girls just tried to get out of there, out of Japan, out of Cambodia, out of Vietnam, whatever, just to get out of Taiwan?
Many don't, because they got parents. As long as their parents are alive,
they won't leave them.
When their parents die, they can leave. Yeah, they won't leave their parents. The parents say, you have to stay here because this is our home. I want to die here. But grandma will take her daughter with her. She's going to take the grandchild with her, and that's going to be the end of the family. This is like myopia, you know. It's like I say, there's no common sense. Okay, there's only these traditional values. There's a lot into what do you call it? Learning for examination.
Well, it's just they're stuck in the past.
To look across the street and realize the end is here. Yeah?
They're stuck in the past. I don't know. You have been singular in speaking to this, bringing it out. No one else is doing this, and it's a damn shame that you're not being published all over Japan, at least giving the people an opportunity to get the truth, but they don't have it.
Well, quietly, they'll say, you're right. You know, you're right, quietly.
Oh,
but no one's going to shout out on the street, yeah, this guy's right, let's go out and protest. You know, that's over.
No.
What can you do? You know?
Well, we got the Olympics coming, Yoshi. Don't worry. Be happy. The Olympics are coming. Don't worry.
I know what's happening. The Japanese really don't like that idea at all. They just hate the Olympics. So that's one good thing. At least,
good for them.
At least there's resistance to the Olympics.
Yeah. All right, my friend.
Oh, my gosh.
What a world.
Whatever you do, if you're a baseball player, don't let your national sport be destroyed in Fukushima. That would be an atrocity for the United States. That would be the shame. I mean, that would be just shameful. And Donald Trump, he wears a baseball cap, right?
Yes, he does.
Understand. That would be the ultimate shame for America.
Well, we need to. I hope that they read the article that you sent. I put that article on the Trump board. It's up on mine, and thank you for writing. Keep writing, and I'll keep pushing it at him. Yeah, that's all we can do.
Yeah.
He can make a big political issue out of this.
We wish him luck.
Yeah.
He needs the luck. We wish him luck, and he needs it. And he's being nice now, but let's see him. I can't wait to see him get tough, actually.
Well, let's hope.
The world needs some tough. It's tough love, right? If he loves humanity, get tough on the foolishness of humanity. You got to get tough. Tough
Amen.
love. That's
Amen.
the theme.
You got it. All right. Okay, Yoshi. Talk to you next time.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Right. Yoshi is truly a treasure of a human being. He's amazing. As you know. All right? Okay, that's our Monday program for you.